cover some basic things. Before you go off on a venture of trying to diagnose any electrical problems, I want to make sure you understand what's necessary. The most important thing is voltage in the system. And let's talk about 911s from 99 on, the 996 and the 997. Just like with any car, but these are more advanced computerized cars. The new ones take it to another level. But if you look at a 996 and a 997, it's a shame when somebody brings one into the shop and it has a new battery and a new starter and a new alternator, and they still haven't fixed the slow crank problem that the car has, or the non-charging battery. What these have are three legs to the electrical system. They have a leg from the battery up to the firewall, from the firewall all the way back to the transmission, and then one from there up to the starter and alternator. All you have to do is get the car at operating temperature, at idle, and check the voltage from the battery positive over to the alternator output. And you're looking at voltage drop. How much voltage are you dropping from the alternator that's making the voltage here to the positive side of the battery? If you're losing any more than 400 millivolts, there's a problem. And one of those three legs are bad. And I can almost guarantee you it's the cable back on the engine. It starts at the gearbox and works its way up to the starter and alternator. And that's generally the issue. So before people start replacing components, they shouldn't shotgun the diagnostic. They should actually figure out what's wrong and move from there. Okay, now we're going to do what we call a battery hard reset. I'm going to show you how we do that. I don't like doing these things because we're basically erasing all of the CSI, all of the history of this car in the electrical system. But sometimes it's necessary. So I've already loosened the battery terminals, and I want to show you how I do it. So we're going to disconnect the positive side, and we're going to disconnect the negative side, or the ground. And normally you can run a jumper across here, but to be safe, I like to run it through a test light. I had somebody in a class once ask me, but I never have the test light light up. Well, without laughing, because I realize we all need to learn, I tried to explain to him that it isn't enough current to turn on the light. But what we're doing is we're slowing the energy transfer down by touching these two terminals together through a resistance. Once we do that for a while, we'll now have seen that we've removed all of the energy from the capacitors. A computer has a capacitor in it to maintain its memory. And what we're doing is we're removing all of that energy, all of that voltage, or energy out of the capacitors. Once we do that, I'd like you to reconnect the positive battery terminal first and tighten it. And you know what? Just out of habit, it's probably a good idea just to do that. Okay, don't over tighten it. And then we'll connect the negative. All right? Now, once we tighten that, we can start the car. It's a good idea to kind of straighten those cables out. Once we do that, we can start the car. Now, realize that this car has lost all of its memory except for the basic fuel software on how to run. So you want to let it idle for a little while before you go out and drive it. Start it, make sure she runs okay, and then go out and drive it. But when you drive it, you're going to have to teach her how to run again. I think that pretty much covers that. Thank you.